What's up, guys? Nick from P2W Fantasy, live on the lunch break here at work. You can tell because I'm not wearing a basketball jersey or some P2W gear of any kind. So I figured with the lunch break, get this top 10 wide receiver class down pat for what I have right now before the draft. Obviously, the draft next week will impact some of these things. Landing spot is a big thing for a lot of people, and it's something we always have to factor in. But I did want to throw out the top 10 guys for me right now, going from 10 to 1, and a little bit about these guys. We can't assume everybody knows the ins and outs of the class as of now, so it's interesting to see just some tidbits about some guys and where we all have them ranked. As always, these broadcasts brought to you by Fantasy Points Media Group. So fantasypoints.com, again, is where I get all my source of information. It's where I get the advanced stats that I use for articles and podcasts, things like that. They have the draft guide, which is great. I have the mobile app for that, so I look at the rookie stuff nonstop all the time. So yeah, let's play that. All right, so I do have a quick presentation for you guys when it comes to that. Nick grinding out on his lunch. Yep, that's what I'm doing here on a Friday. So happy Friday. What I'm going to do again, 10 to 1. We'll go through that. With this ranking, I do have little clips of the guys, obviously with highlights. They're not film. I'm not breaking down film for you guys or anything like that. Just kind of showing some of the guys that I rank 10 to 1 for this. So let's get this thing kicked off here.
I play to win, no fear to give. I feel but I can't forgive. I go all in this time, yeah, I won't regret. I'll pick the best, don't trip, they don't understand. I play to win, yeah, I play to win, I play to win. Yeah, I play to win, I play to win. Oh, play to win, I play to win. Yeah, I play to win, I play to win.
All right, so again, we'll make myself small in this. Got a little presentation going on for you. Why are you not at work? I am. It's my lunch break here. Just smart with my lunch break. So, again, fantasypoints.com. Great to sign up on. I have a promo code that actually gets you a discount. It is well worth it. You can see this 2021 NFL draft guide, which is on there. You have full access to that, and it's an app version too. So you can literally have it on your phone and be checking rankings and individual player profiles, things like that. So again, shout out to Fantasy Points. It's great being part of the Fantasy Points Media Group, which has been awesome. And again, promo code 21WIN10 to subscribe there. All right, so number 10 for me right now. Again, pre-draft rankings. Dami Brown. So I got little clips to play here out of North Carolina. Make sure this isn't going to be too loud here. 6'1", 189, 1,000 receiving yards each of his last 2 seasons. Big vertical threat. You can see some of the plays look short, but he does have that ability downfield. Tons of burst, good hands, contests for catches, quick feet in the short areas, which is really good for him. Could have better physicality in the NFL. That's one thing talked about a little bit. And the run after catch, that's something I looked at as well. I think he's going to need a QB that can be similar to the one he had in college and can really open things up for him down the field, because he does have that burst, quick in the short areas, and can really get vertical and find space on the field. So I do like Dami Brown. He's number 10. Number nine on the list, I got Lynn Wallace, Oklahoma State, 6', 194. First team All-American as a sophomore. He did have the injuries, but he came back and had a nice senior year. 922 receiving yards in his senior year, 6 touchdowns. So that's a good bounce back from an injury from the past year. Let's get him playing on the screen here a little bit. Again, just showing some clips, some highlights. I'm not breaking down film or anything like that. Nothing crazy with the speed or the size, but he's super competitive. You can see a lot of these balls thrown his way are in some tighter areas, and he goes and gets the ball all the time. Good play right there. Very good hands. So when he is fighting for the ball, when he's contesting for the ball, he's going and getting it, and it's staying in his hands most of the time. Good body control as well. You'll see him up in the air. You'll see him making plays often, which I think can translate well in the NFL. Again, when it comes to vertical plays, you see some shorter routes right here. But I think he attacks the ball vertically. He gets open down the sideline. And a lot of people are excited about him, especially seeing that he cleared his injuries and came back for a nice senior year. Again, 922 receiving yards and 6 touchdowns in that senior year. So I got Wallace here as number 9. Number 8, a lot of diverse opinions when it comes to Tony. Obviously, we talk about Kyle Pitts a lot. When it comes to Tony, though, 70 catches this past season for 984 receiving yards and 10 touchdowns. Lined up everywhere for Florida. You'll see in this clip, because I remember recording this, he gets some sweeps. He gets handed off the ball. Some comparisons to like a Deebo Samuel. They're very different, but that comparison comes often because of the way that he's utilizing the offense at Florida. A lot of NFL teams that might be appealing to them. So even if he's not the most talented guy from a fantasy perspective, Bo was on the show yesterday talking about this, and I was as well. Some NFL teams might see this as pretty appealing. Again, productive in several different ways. He likes to play make with his body, with his movement. Probably a slot guy in the NFL. But again, he might be lining up in the backfield or on sweeps and things like that. I think an NFL team can get creative with this guy. Questions with the route running and the efficiency with that. But with most things, that comes with being in better systems and developing in the NFL. Number 7, I have Rondale Moore out of Purdue. So I'll get this clip playing here. 5'7", 180 listed in the Fantasy Points app. I know there's been some questions with that. 4.29 40. Huge freshman year, 114 receptions for 1,258 receiving yards, 12 touchdowns. Did battle some injuries in college, but just seeing what he did early on, I think he was appealing for a lot of people at a very early stage. Lined up in multiple locations on the field, even used in the jet sweep at times. Explosive in the short area with some quickness. Good route running abilities. You'll see maybe not exactly on every one of these plays, but the route running and the quickness, the combination of that really finds him some space to be effective with and make some plays. Very competitive. You'll see, his size is listed small, but he plays really big with competing for extra space all the time. NFL probably used in the slot, but again, I think a guy like Rondale Moore can be used. So one of my guys, Elijah Moore, I'm going back to back here with the Moores. I like Elijah a lot. 5'7", 180, runs a 4.29 is recorded. Huge freshman. I got them mixed up already. 5'9", 178. I was close. Senior year for Elijah Moore. 86 receptions for 1,193 receiving yards, 8 touchdowns in 9 games. I think he's going to be a quality slot guy in the NFL. Does have great hands. The route running and separation, I'm not going to compare him to like a Jerry Jeudy. They're very different, but that skill set really stands out to me when it comes to prospects in the league. I think that is a big separating factor for guys who are ready and who are not ready for the league. And I think when you have that separation ability, the route running, the quickness, I think that's super appealing for a wide receiver coming into this league. Does compete for catches. Again, we talked about great hands when he is open, regardless of where that is. Lines up elsewhere, even though we mentioned the slot a lot. Again, you saw earlier in the clip some jet sweeps, which seem to be kind of common with some of these guys. Very versatile, and I love the route running, the separation, the hands. Explosive with a run after catch. His traits make him a playmaker, and I really think Elijah Moore can land in a spot that will make him effective in this league. Number 5 for me, Jalen Waddle. I know that might come as a surprise. Some people have him as high as 2. Some people have him as 3. I have him at 5 for me personally. Jalen Waddle, 5'10", 183, very athletic, very explosive. He's one catch away from taking it to the house almost all the time on particular plays. 4 games only in 2020. Before his injury, he played 6 total, 28 total catches for 591 yards, 4 touchdowns. Sophomore year in 13 games, though, 33 catches for 560 yards. So not a guy we've seen tons and tons of volume from. But with what he does get, he makes big explosive plays. So that's the upside of Jalen Waddle. Vertical threat and danger. He's great running after the catch because of that explosiveness, because of that speed. High volume is the question. Like, can he handle that in the NFL? We're not entirely sure, but for fantasy purposes, we don't always need a guy to have 8-9 catches if he's that explosive, that much of a playmaker. I think he's going to be a weapon in the NFL. He's going to line up all over the place. He's going to draw a lot of attention, so that's going to help whoever else is on his team, which doesn't get talked about enough. A lot of Tyreek Hill comparisons. I'm not going to go get this back going. Had some connection issues from the office. All right. So again, Jalen Waddle, had him as my number 5 on the list. I'm going to get that screen shared back in a second here. All right. So my number 4 is going to be Terrace Marshall, which I'll get back playing in a second here. All right. So Terrace Marshall, number 4 on my list here. 6'2", 205. Cut his own season short. the guy is a vertical option. Let me get this plan again. Literally have it on your phone. It's in individual player profiles, things like that. So I can get a shot. I'm gonna have to get the audio back connected for myself here. What we got? Terrace Marshall. Get the screen back shared in a second here. All right, so talking again about Terrace Marshall, vertical option, run after the catch. He has the big touchdown upside, take it to the house guy, size and skills combo. I like Terrace Marshall a lot. I don't think he gets enough credit for a guy who had to become the guy once Jamar Chase ended up opting out of the season. Outside and inside receiving versatility, goes up and gets the ball. You can see in some of these plays, all three levels of the field, this guy can be dangerous, which draws the question if he can be a true volume guy in the NFL. I think a team that does draft him and gives him some volume will definitely love the combination of the qualities we talk about with the size, the hands, all three levels of the field kind of playmaker here. Again, kind of slept on just because he wasn't the alpha out of LSU before the season, but ended up having to be that guy. I like Terrace Marshall a lot. It'll be interesting to see where he ends up going in the draft. I see a lot with the Ravens, which some people may not like, but again, I think this guy is going to provide a team with some with an option to be a big volume guy. Rashod Bateman, number 3. Rashod Bateman, 6 foot 190, 5 games in 2020. Sophomore year, went 60 catches for 1,219 receiving yards and 11 touchdowns. Size plus route running plus separation plus hands plus run after the catch. I mean, you can just list the qualities that Bateman has to offer. I think he's pretty NFL ready, even though the route running gets a knock from college because of them detailing that it's been simplistic and things like that. The athletic and the physical qualities are very solid. You see a lot of plays that just show that right away, both outside lining up and in the slot. Plays to his size, which you really like for a guy coming out of college and preparing for the NFL. The comp I've seen is Allen Robinson, which is so Rashod Bateman, again, for some people, number 2. For me, he's number 3. So Devonta Smith, number 2 for me. 6 foot, 5-star recruit, 117 catches for 1,856 receiving yards, 23 touchdowns, SEC records in touchdowns, receptions, and receiving yards. So the guy just went off with his college career, won the Heisman, and he deserved it. Long and thin, they call him the Slim Reaper. There's a lot of questions about the weight and the frame, obviously, and if he, will be successful because of that in the NFL. But I think he's just super effective lining up all over the field, making plays. He plays big, although he is slim and small. Super smooth with his body movements, super smooth with his routes, which you can just see all over the highlights. Again, I know it's highlights and not film, but still, the hands are unbelievable. You throw the ball his way, he was scoring touchdowns nonstop. The guy was breaking records. I think in the NFL, they're going to design a lot to make him successful with whatever team he's going to land on. I think some people think he's going to have to bang the whole time with a bunch of linebackers and things like that. But really in the NFL, I think they're really going to scheme ways for him to be successful, similar to how he was at Alabama. And then number one, which I'll get playing here in a second. Got Jamar Chase as my number one. I'm going to pull that screen back up here. Obviously, Jamar Chase is a lot of people's number one. To talk about Jamar Chase, you're talking about a guy who's already ready for the NFL. He has all the qualities you look for in an NFL receiver. Good size, the acceleration, very competitive, very physical, fighting for balls, coming and getting balls, being a playmaker, great hands. The body control is very good. He's super aggressive with literally everything that he does. Explosive playmaker. I think Jamar Chase is just the definition of an alpha. And I know for most people, he's probably the wide receiver one. Some people don't have him that way. But I think whichever landing spot he's going to be in, he's going to be very dominant. And we look at guys last year who were effective right away in the NFL. And I think coming out of, this class here, there's a lot of good playmakers, a lot of creative. There's a lot of guys that can be used creatively. There's a lot of guys that bring different qualities, but Jamar Chase is that alpha of the class and that guy that should be a number one. I don't think there should be tons of debate on it, but obviously to each their own with their opinions on that. But again, everything you look for in a receiver, you see out of Chase. We would have liked to see him play this year, but he opted out. But I think from an NFL executive standpoint, should be the clear-cut one here. So again, this is my top 10 before the draft. Once the draft happens, things can shift around, especially when it comes to who really needs a wide receiver. I'm a big volume guy. I'm a big target guy. So I think those factors will come into play when the landing spot gets outlined. But yeah, curious to hear anybody else who wants to share their rankings in the comments of the stream. If you did watch the stream, I really appreciate it because the connection was pretty awful at times, so I had to jump in and out of my own stream. But that's it right there. Can post it in the comments section. I might actually just take a quick screenshot of this right now. Get that up here. But yeah, interesting enough, we will have the draft come next week, and we will have some big reactions, overreactions, and some guys we might be sleeping on when it comes to this wide receiver class. So again, thanks for tuning in here.